The president just signed an executive order that's an historic change in the way that pharmaceutical advertising is done on television. And the order basically reinstates or gives us now the opportunity to reinstate the 1997 rules. Prior to 1997, pharmaceutical advertisers were required to put all the side effects on their ads.
So it looks like RFK is trying to find a way to make it harder for Big Pharma to advertise directly to people on television. And the reason why Big Pharma advertises, they're not actually trying to sell you drugs. I know that sounds funny. What they're actually doing is they're giving all this money to cable news shows so that they can control them. So then 70% of their revenue comes from Big Pharma. So now they have to report lies because that's where their bread is buttered. That's where they get all their money from. It's how it works. Big Pharma, that's called corruption. Big Pharma has to list all the side effects now in their pharma ads. RFK Jr. says this will now force pharma companies to decide if they want to run a 4-minute ad or not. This is mission accomplished. This is from MJ Truth Ultra. This is the next best thing next to banning the pharma's commercials completely from television, which RFK has said he's working on doing, but it's going to require the Supreme Court. Because in 1976, there was a Supreme Court case that effectively protected pharmaceutical advertisements on TV as free speech. It is in the Virginia State Board versus Pharmacy versus Virginia State Consumer Council. This case established a precedent for protecting pharmaceutical ads as a form of commercial speech, provided they are truthful and not misleading. Until there are new established ruling, what RFK Jr. just did is monumental. So let's listen to what he says.
The president just signed an executive order making some news here when it comes to pharmaceutical ads.
The president just signed an executive order that's an historic change in the way that pharmaceutical advertising is done on television. And the order basically reinstates or gives us now the opportunity to reinstate the 1997 rules. Prior to 1997, pharmaceutical advertisers were required to put all the side effects on their ads. Many of them didn't advertise because it lengthened because of what it did to the length of the advertising. And the removal of that requirement in 1997, FDA changed the rule to allow them to report the side effects on a website or on a telephone. And they only had to report a few of them on television. And that triggered a proliferation of these ads. There's only 2 countries in the world that allowed direct-to-consumer advertising by pharmaceutical companies on television. We're one of those countries. New Zealand is the other. It's had a disastrous impact on human health, on people's relationships with their doctors, and really on the entire gestalt where Americans are led to believe that there's a pill for every ill, and that you don't have to exercise, you don't have to pay attention to your diet. Whatever goes wrong with you, you can fix with a drug.
So how much does this change the dynamic for pharmaceutical companies that have been advertising on all kinds of channels and even online? They're going to have to do a lot more specifically.
They're going to have to report all their side effects. In some cases, that might create an advertisement that's 4 minutes long. Back prior to 1997, advertising in magazines had page after page after side effects reported. And so we don't know exactly what it will do, but we know it's going to be better for the health of Americans.
It's significant.
So I think, again, the bright spot in the Trump administration is right here. RFK is getting it done. It's not as fast as some people want, but it's in the right direction for the first time in my life. We're going in the right direction. So he's found a way to make it harder for Big Pharma to advertise, and Donald Trump signed that executive order.
Jimmy, I had no idea. I thought 97 is when they legalized.
That's what I thought. I thought 90.
All they did.
Yeah. I thought in 97 is when they legalized the direct-to-consumer advertising by Big Pharma. But according to RFK, who's the HHS Secretary, no, in 97, what they did was they said, you don't have to list all the side effects. So that's when the explosion of Big Pharma commercials happened, because they didn't have to do that anymore. They had to
couldn't
list.
afford the ad time
They-
if
yeah.
they listed all the side effects.
Wow.
I,
So this is great news. So as this is what they say, this is the next best thing to banning them completely. This is the next best thing. So they're doing it because I guess he's going to need the Supreme Court to get him banned completely. So this is great news. Again,
yeah.
good on RFK Jr. He's actually trying to do something, and he's got all the forces of capitalism against him and all the bought pieces of garbage like Bernie Sanders, who is a garbage human being. I cannot say it loud enough or enough. Bernie
Everyone's
Sanders,
corrupt but you.
he is, what's that?
Everyone is corrupt but you.
Everybody's come to you. Yes.
Especially you, Bernie.
Especially you, Bernie, you corrupt piece of it. Okay. If you like to hear my jokes on pharmaceuticals, come see me in Chicago, Rosemont, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see me on tour in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.